Hey y'all, welcome back to Brand Murphy Garage. We hurt the Trans Am. Yeah, I was driving a little bit more this week and transmission's starting to go on it. It's a 700R4. Now, that's partially my fault. This thing had a small leak out of the transmission cooling lines that I really wasn't aware of. It's probably been going on for a little over a year now. And basically, it leaked about 2.5 quarts of ATF out over the last year or so period. And I romped on it a little bit the other day, and well, basically I've lost the the engine braking capability out of the transmission. So it doesn't matter if I'm in first, second, or third. Let's say I'm going 35 miles an hour at like 3,000 RPM in second gear, okay? It will no longer keep the RPM at where it needs to be driving at that mile per hour in that gear. It drops it all the way back down to idle speed. So I'm pretty sure either the overrun sprag, the overrun clutches, or the first set of clutches basically got wiped out. The interesting thing is when it's cold, it'll still act right, but once the transmission gets some heat in it, it loses it. And yes, I did go ahead and refill the missing ATF out of there. That's how I know it was 2.5 quarts. I have some footage here of me driving it because I was actually recording some stuff for TikTok when when this started happening, and I could show that here. Not downshifting anymore. That's weird. First gear. Uh-oh. It's like it's putting itself into neutral. I think I might have smoked the transmission. First. Okay. Got first. But then the RPMs just drop without me shifting. However, not all is lost. We have a couple different options. We can now finally do the manual swap with the Super T10 if I wanted to, but that's going to cost a lot of money. I'm probably not going to rebuild the 700R4 that is in here, but something really cool that happened is a buddy of mine reached out to me, and he said he has a 700R4 out of a third-gen parts car that shows 30,000 miles on it, that he'd be willing to trade with me for some parts, and I'm getting a really good deal out of it because I'm not really trading a whole lot, but he's basically going to be including the 700R4, the torque converter with it, and a B&M ratchet shifter. And he basically was like, I'm just here to help you out, man. So here you go. So we're going to try that transmission, since I'm only trading like a couple different things, like a set of heads and a carburetor. And if we put that transmission in, and if it works, great. And if it fails, then we'll move on to getting the Super T10, because I'm not really losing any money. The only thing I'm losing is a few hours out of my day driving up to pick this up from him. So that's basically what we're going to be doing now. Even though the transmission is hurt, hopefully here within the next month I can get up there, get it, come back, and get it swapped into the car, and have the car running and driving again, because I'd really like to take this thing to the track. And I don't trust, even though I have gear engagement out of the 700R4 right now, I don't really trust being hard on the transmission. I could completely smoke the rest of it and then be stranded somewhere. Other than that, I really just want to say it's really cool being part of the third gen community, because it seems like almost everyone I've met in the third gen community is just really, really cool. And my buddy here, he's no exception to that. He is an amazing guy. He's got a really cool 82 Camaro 4-speed. And I'll probably do a video when we go up there to get it. But just know I'm probably not going to be doing a whole lot with the car here over the next few weeks, kind of like I wanted to, like taking it to the track. We still may do the carburetor upgrades, but everything I was kind of wanting to do over the next few weeks can't happen because the transmission is hurt. I am going to get aftermarket transmission cooling lines though, because having a bigger radiator in here I think is kind of messing up the geometry of the lines, and they're not fitting correctly, and that's probably part of the reason. So we're just going to go ahead, we're just going to get braided lines and run it. I may even get a an external cooler too, so run it through the radiator, then out to the external cooler, and then back to the transmission, just to make sure I'm keeping it nice and cool and try to prevent any extra damage that could happen to this other 700 R4 that we're getting. What I will probably end up doing is taking the valve body out of this one here, because it's a manual valve body with a shift kit, and we'll transfer that over to the new 700 R4. I also have a Corvette servo in here too that I'd like to remove and put on the new transmission as well. So hopefully it'll all work out. I mean, I have no reason not to trust my friend here, to think that he's giving me a piece of junk or anything like that. So we'll see what happens. And hey, I kind of wanted to put a different shifter in the car anyways, and now I'm going to be able to do that. And yeah, I think this should be a pretty good season once we get it back up. We'll go hit a couple of testing tunes up this year, try to dial the car in as well as we can. And let's see here, what is that? 16.0 is what I ran with the stock Crossfire injection. Let's see how much that's knocked off. You guys may have seen these time slips in my my earlier videos, but this was the first one I ran, 16.3. That was with the stock Crossfire injection. And then when I was manually shifting it, this was just with me having it in overdrive. When I manually shifted it, I ran it down to a 16.0. So let's hope that we're somewhere in the 14s, maybe high 13s with all the upgrades we did to the engine. And if we have a good transmission behind it as well, hopefully we can get there. Additionally, I would like to get the 9-bolt rear end done this year. So that means putting 370 gears in it and get it swapped into the car. I like to see what the car runs once I have a 370 gear set in the back as well. All right. Yeah, if you guys haven't subscribed yet, subscribe to the channel. We're always doing stuff on the car. Stuff keeps breaking, so more stuff we got to do. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, and we'll see you all in the next one. Later.